You know the drill. You launch the new site, or, maybe you just signed a contract with a new SEO agency. You're excited.
Of course.
You want to see the ROI.
Right.
So what is the very first thing you do?
Oh, I know this one.
You pull out your phone, you open Google, and you type in best pizza downtown or plumber near me.
It's the universal instinct, the victory lap.
Exactly. And boom, there you are. Number one, top of the map. The stars are shining. Listing looks great. You think, we made it. We are winning.
It is an incredibly satisfying feeling, but it's also, unfortunately, a complete hallucination.
A hallucination.
Yeah.
That is a strong word to start our deep dive with today.
Well, it is.
But that's exactly what we're unpacking. We are looking at a stack of research on something called Geo-Grid rank tracking. And honestly, the data suggests that most business owners are making huge decisions based on a reality that doesn't actually exist.
It really does. It just dismantles the old way of thinking. And to go back to your example, that moment where you Google yourself. The reason I call it a hallucination is because you aren't measuring the market. You're measuring your specific version of Google. Google knows it's you. It knows your search history. It knows you visit that website 10 times a day.
And it knows exactly where I'm standing.
Right, because you're usually standing in your own lobby or sitting at your desk.
Of course.
So seeing yourself at number one on your own phone while connected to your own Wi-Fi, that isn't a ranking. That's an echo chamber. Google is just showing you what it thinks you want to see.
And the echo chamber for a business owner is dangerous. You might think everything is fine, high-fiving the team, when in reality, you're totally invisible to a customer who's just, 3 blocks away?
That is the core problem that Geo-Grid rank tracking solves. It's a shift from thinking about ranking as a single static number like I'm number one to thinking about it as spatial visibility.
Spatial visibility. I like that term. It sounds sophisticated, but let's ground it. Because when I looked at the visual examples in the research, it didn't look like a spreadsheet. It looked like a weather radar.
That is the perfect analogy, the absolute perfect one. Think about the old way. It was like checking the temperature with one thermometer hanging outside your office.
Okay, yeah.
It tells you it's 72 degrees right here. But it doesn't tell you if it's raining across town or if there's a blizzard in the suburbs.
And a geo-grid is like looking at the Doppler radar for the whole city.
Precisely. Instead of one data point, you have hundreds. You can see this like storm front of high visibility downtown, but maybe a complete dry spell in the northern neighborhoods. You see pockets of strength and weakness a single number can never show you.
So our mission today is to understand how this actually works. We're going to look at the mechanics, why accuracy is a surprisingly controversial topic, and most importantly, how to use this data so you aren't just staring at pretty colors.
Right, how to make money with it. The ultimate goal is to stop guessing, stop the ego searching, and start strategizing.
Let's dive into the mechanics. Segment 1. What exactly is a geo-grid? I mean, we've got the weather map analogy, but how does the software actually build this map? It's not some guy driving around checking his phone at every stoplight, right?
Thankfully, no. It's a simulation. At a technical level, a geo-grid starts with 2 inputs. A keyword, let's say emergency dentist, and a service area.
Okay.
Then the tool lays a grid over that map. It places these specific points, which we call nodes, at set intervals.
Nodes. Okay, so I'm picturing a grid overlaying a city map, and every intersection has a little dot on it. That's a node.
Right. And you have to imagine that each of those nodes represents a potential customer standing on that exact street corner. The tool then runs a simulated search from that spot and records the result. It asks, from this corner, do we show up in the top 3? Are we number 1, number 10? Are we there at all?
And it does this for every single dot on the grid.
Essentially, yes. At the same time, a standard grid might be, 7 by 7 or 13 by 13. So you're getting dozens, maybe hundreds of data points all at once.
And the output is that colored map.
Exactly. Usually green means you're in the top 3, the map tack, where everyone wants to be. Yellow means you're hovering just outside, maybe position 4 through 10. And red means you're basically invisible.
And this is where the aha moment happens for a lot of people. Because you might be a solid number 1 green dot right where your office is.
Yes, always.
But you go 5 miles down the road and suddenly you're a number 20 red dot.
And that is so common. You see this massive drop-off. We call it the proximity cliff. You're the king of your block, but you're a ghost in the next neighborhood over. Without a grid, you'd never know. You'd just see your report say rank number 1 and wonder why nobody from the north side of town is calling.
It's amazing how distance sensitive the algorithm is.
Hmm.
It really creates these territories. Now, the sources mentioned two main metrics that pop up. They sound a bit jargony, so we should probably define them. ARP and SOLV.
Sure. ARP stands for average rank position. It's exactly what it sounds like. You take all those dots, the number ones, the number 20s, and you average them out. That's your ARP.
Okay, so if I'm number 1 at my office and number 20 everywhere else, my average is going to look pretty mediocre. Is that actually useful?
It's useful as a quick temperature check. Are we generally trending up or down? It's a trend line, but it lacks nuance. The second metric is the one I really like, SOLV.
Share of local voice.
Share of local voice. It sounds powerful because it is. It represents the percentage of the market or the percentage of those nodes where you appear in the top positions.
Got it.
So if your SOLV is 20%, it means that for 20% of the simulated searches in that city, you are one of the top choices Google gives the user.
That feels much more tangible. It's like saying, I own 20% of the virtual real estate in this city.
That is the perfect way to frame it. It just shifts the whole conversation from where do we rank to where are we visible? And those are very, very different questions.
Absolutely. Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting for me and maybe a little frustrating for the perfectionists. We have to talk about accuracy because I can hear people asking, if I stand on that street corner with my phone, will I see the exact same thing the grid shows?
And the honest answer is maybe, but probably not exactly. And this gets us to the biggest debate in this space.
The accuracy versus consistency debate.
Right. There is this huge misconception that these tools are broken if the results fluctuate or don't perfectly match your phone. But we have to remember, Google is not a static encyclopedia. It's a dynamic, fluid system.
The sources said Google isn't a mirror reflecting reality. It's a model.
Correct. And the Geo-Grid is also a model of that reality. It's a probabilistic sample. Think about it. When you search, Google is looking at your device. Are you on an iPhone or an Android? Are you log into Gmail? Have you visited that website before?
What time of day it is?
All of these variables change the results. So if a Geo-Grid tool simulates a search, it has to make assumptions. It can't be you.
I see. And different tools make different assumptions.
Exactly. And this is where it gets a little technical, but it's important. There are basically two ways these tools are built. One is the API method.
API, so they just plug directly into Google's official data stream, like asking Google directly for the info.
Yep. It's very clean, very fast. It's like asking the chef how the food tastes. But it has limitations. The data you get from the API doesn't always reflect what a human sees on a screen. For instance, it often struggles with service area businesses, plumbers, electricians, people without a storefront. The API sometimes gives back this weird, sterile data.
Okay, so what's the alternative to that?
The simulated or headless browser method. This is where the tool literally pretends to be a user. It opens a browser in the background and no screen, just code sets the location, types in the keyword, and scrapes the result.
So it's more like a mystery shopper.
It is. It's closer to reality, but it introduces its own variables, like does the mystery shopper look like they're on a mobile phone or a desktop? Does their IP address look corporate or residential? Google treats those differently.
So if I run a report on tool A and tool B, and the numbers are slightly different, it's because their mystery shoppers are wearing different disguises.
That is a brilliant analogy, yes. And the goal isn't to get the exact same number every single time. If you chase that, you will drive yourself crazy. The goal is pattern recognition. We're looking for the shape of the data.
The shape of the data.
Are we consistently strong in the north? Are we consistently weak in the south? That pattern is reliable even if the individual dots dance around a little.
I love that distinction. We're not looking for a snapshot. We're looking for the movie. We want to see the plot.
Exactly. And speaking of plot, let's talk about why it twists. Why does Google show different things?
This is segment 3, interpreting the data, the so what factor. One thing that stood out to me was this idea that Google is constantly testing businesses.
Oh, absolutely. Variability is a feature, not a bug. Google will often rotate a business into the top 3 just to see what happens. It's basically an audition.
An audition.
Yeah. Google thinks, let's put this pizza place in the number 2 spot for an hour. Do people click it? Do they call? Do they ask for directions? If they do, Google says, this is a good result. It might keep it there longer. If they don't, it gets rotated back out.
So if my grid flickers green one day, yellow the next, that might just be Google giving me a shot at the title.
That's exactly right. And knowing that helps you not to panic. It just means the algorithm is alive. But beyond the testing, Geo-Grids are incredible for spotting what we call edges.
Edges.
Imagine your visibility is a circle of light around your business. A geogrid shows you exactly where that light fades into darkness. That edge is your battleground.
That's where you should focus your effort.
Right. You're not trying to rank in a city 3 hours away. You're trying to push that edge out just another half mile.
It's like expanding your territory in a strategy game. You don't jump to the other side of the map. You push the front line forward.
Precisely. You focus your content, your reviews, your local signals on the neighborhood sitting right on that yellow-red border. Turn the yellow to green. That is how you grow. And you use it to track progress. If you're doing SEO, you should see that circle of green getting bigger over time.
And if the circle is shrinking?
Something is wrong. Or if your circle is staying the same size, but your competitor's circle is getting bigger.
Then you know you're being outpaced.
And that competitive comparison is another superpower here. You can run a grid for your competitor and see exactly where their stronghold is. Maybe they're weak in the West, and you can swoop in and take that territory.
It's literally a spy satellite for your marketing strategy.
Right.
And there's always a but.
How always?
Having a pretty map doesn't always equal money in the bank.
No, it does not. And this is the danger zone, segment 4, the limitations. We have to talk about the empty room problem.
I love this concept, the empty room. Break it down.
Okay, imagine you have a geogrid that is solid green. I mean, you are #1 everywhere, you dominate the map, but your phone isn't ringing.
Panic sets in. The business owner thinks the tool is lying.
But the tool isn't lying. You are visible. The problem is you're visible in an empty room. You might be ranking #1 for a keyword that nobody actually searches for.
Right. If I'm #1 for left-handed underwater basket weaving, I'm sure I'm the only result. But are there any customers?
Exactly. Visibility does not create demand. It captures it. If there is no demand, visibility is, well, it's worthless.
The source material gave a really specific example. Pool service in December.
Yes, the classic seasonality trap. If you run a pool company, you might have fantastic rankings in December, but nobody is calling to have their pool cleaned in the middle of winter.
So the business owner looks at the grid, sees green, looks at the bank account, sees 0, and thinks SEO doesn't work.
Right. When actually, the SEO is working perfectly. The market is just asleep. The grid is telling you, hey, you are positioned perfectly for when summer comes. That is valuable data. It tells you to hold steady, not to panic.
And there's another scenario, right, where you have the visibility and the demand is there. People are searching, but still, crickets.
The conversion issue. This one is painful. You're on the map, people are searching, but they aren't choosing you.
Why would that happen if I'm #1?
Look at your listing. Maybe your review score is 3.5 stars and the guy next to you is 4.9. Maybe your cover photo is a blurry picture of the sidewalk.
So you're getting invited to the party, which is the visibility, but nobody wants to dance with you.
Exactly. The GeoGrid only measures eligibility. It measures the invitation. It doesn't measure the relationship. It gets you the eyeball, but your brand has to win the click.
Which brings us to the final piece. If GeoGrids are just one layer, the eligibility layer, what does the full picture look like? Segment 5, the holistic strategy. The sources call this the measurement stack.
This is the solution to the so what question. You cannot look at GeoGrids in isolation. You have to layer 4 things together to get the truth.
Okay, let's walk through them. Layer 1.
Layer 1 is the GeoGrid. That answers the question. Where are we eligible to be seen? It's the map.
Got it. Layer 2.
Google Business Profile Performance. This used to be called Insights. This tells you how users are interacting. Clicks, calls, requests for directions, all that.
So layer 1 is, did they see us? Layer 2 is, did they touch the listing? What's layer 3?
Analytics. Google Analytics on your website. This tells you what happens after the click. Did they fill out a form? Did they buy something? Did they bounce immediately?
And the final layer, layer 4.
Search demand data. This gives you the context for the silence. Is search volume up or down for your industry as a whole? Is it winter?
So let's troubleshoot a scenario with this stack. Let's say my GeoGrid, layer 1, is all green. My visibility is UP. But my interactions, layer 2, my calls, they're down. What does that tell you?
That's a classic diagnostic moment. If visibility is up but calls are down, I'm looking at 2 things immediately. 1, seasonality. Is the market just quiet? Or 2, competition. Did a competitor just launch a massive ad campaign that's sitting on top of my ranking? Or did I get a 1-star review that's scaring people away?
See, that is actionable. You stop blaming the SEO guy for rankings and start fixing the conversion problem.
Exactly. No, flip it. This is the one that really confuses people. What if visibility is down, The grid is getting redder, but interactions are UP.
That sounds weird.
And
How can you be less visible but get more calls?
it happens. It usually means you're losing the broad, low-quality searches, maybe people far away who wouldn't hire you anyway, but you are cementing your position in the high-intent pockets right near your office.
Oh, interesting. So you dropped off the map 5 miles away, but you went from number 3 to number 1 in your immediate neighborhood.
Correct. You're shrinking your footprint, but increasing your density of quality customers. You're losing the vanity metrics, but winning the wallet metrics.
I love that phrase, winning the wallet metrics.
Precisely. And that's why you need the full stack. If you only looked at the grid, you'd see red and panic. If you only looked at the calls, you'd think you were winning, but wouldn't know why. You need both to understand the story.
It's moving from reporting activity to managing growth.
That's the line. That's the takeaway right there.
Okay, let's wrap this up. We've covered a lot. We've gone from the hallucination of the ego search to the weather radar of the Geo-Grid, and finally, to the empty room problem.
It's a deep rabbit hole, but a necessary one.
If you had to summarize this for the listener who's about to check their marketing reports, what's the one thing they need to remember?
Remember that a Geo-Grid is a diagnostic instrument, not a scorecard. It's radar, not a verdict. Don't obsess over a single red dot on a Tuesday afternoon. Look at the trend lines over months. Are you taking up more space? Are you visible where the money is? That's the value.
And stop Googling yourself from the lobby.
Please just stop doing that. It tells you nothing except that Google knows where you work.
Here's a final thought I want to leave you with. We talked about how Google is personalizing results based on who and where you are. As AI continues to integrate into search, that personalization is only going to get more intense.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be hyper-individualized.
So the question is, if you are still obsessing over a single ranking number, are you ignoring the reality of whether your business is actually positioned to capture demand when it happens? Are you chasing a trophy or are you chasing a customer?
That is the question.
Thanks for diving in with us. We'll catch you on the next one.
See you there.